I saved a girl, but I was accused of sexual harassment. After leaving the exam room, the internet exploded. She posted a video, crying and playing the victim. She claimed I took advantage of her while saving her. She even said that no girl would ever use her own purity to falsely accuse someone. That single sentence nailed me to the pillar of shame. I swallowed my grievances and scored 658 points on the exam. I was just waiting for an interview with mainstream media to clear my name. Instead, I received the news that my parents were killed by an extreme, uneducated hater who rammed them with a car. I've been reborn. Reborn right when I was on my way to the college entrance exam. In my past life, because the testing center was quite far, I left 2.5 hours early. I took the special bus route for the exam. While waiting at the stop, the girl next to me suddenly had a heart attack. My mom is a nurse, so I had learned CPR. I immediately performed first aid on her. I waited for the ambulance to arrive before rushing to the exam. But as a result, when I walked out of the exam room, I saw the entire internet condemning me. That girl's name was Jung Yue. She was also an examinee. In the video, she sat on a hospital bed, tears streaming down her face, claiming I took advantage of her fainting to grope her. Because it was an old bus stop, there were no security cameras, and since it was early, there was no one else at the stop. I had no witnesses. Jung Yue kept repeating over and over that no girl would ever use her own purity to falsely accuse someone. I was nailed to the pillar of shame. Cyberbullying hit me like a tsunami. My mom was a nurse and my dad ran a small skewer hot pot shop. As soon as Jung Yue's video was released, our shop was smashed up. We had to close it down. My mom was humiliated at the hospital and had dirty water splashed all over her. I knew that only by getting a high score could I get credible media to speak up for me. So I suppressed my fear and anger and continued taking the exams. When the scores were announced, I scored 658 points, enough to get into Qingbei. But that very same day, Jung Yue jumped off the hospital roof and committed suicide. Her parents demanded 2 million yuan in compensation for my family. Banners were hung in our apartment complex demanding I pay with my life. My parents couldn't bear the constant harassment. They couldn't even get a good night's sleep. While driving to make a delivery, they were chased by clout-chasing influencers and crashed into a large truck driven by the parents of that extreme hater. They both passed away. I was also cornered by a mob. When I finally managed to escape to my front door, I unexpectedly stepped on an oil slick on the stairs and slipped. Even my glasses flew off. In my blurry vision, I saw Mo Lai, the daughter of the neighbor across the hall. She was holding a bottle of oil in her hand. Her eyes were filled with hatred and gloating as she looked at me. Now, I've been reborn. I'm only 50 meters away from the bus stop. If I walk to the end of this small path, I'll be right there after a turn. Through the sparse shadows of the trees at the corner, I can faintly see Jung Yue's silhouette, but I don't even glance in her direction. Instead, I stand on my tiptoes and pick a flower, a wild rose reaching out from over the wall. I pin it to my buttonhole, then take my earphones out of my backpack and read English vocabulary aloud along with an app. These actions will save my life in the future. There's a small pebble by the road. I kick it away. As a result, I accidentally kick it too hard. It hits a utility pole and bounces behind me, rolling all the way down into the drainage ditch by the road. Just 10 steps away from the intersection, Jung Yue stumbles and falls like a drunkard. But I turn around and chase after the pebble, jumping into the drainage ditch. My glasses get brushed by the low, wild bushes nearby. So I take my glasses off, put them in their case, and stash them in my backpack. There's no water in the ditch, only dry leaves and rocks. I decisively set my backpack down, roll up my sleeves, and search for pebbles one by one. Then I line them up neatly on the curb from largest to smallest. They are so round and pretty. Under the sunlight, they sparkle like gems. I take a picture and post it on my social media. In my past life, by this time, I had already reached the bus stop and discovered Jung Yue having a heart attack. It must be the exact same right now. I snap a bunch of photos and post them. I can't possibly take all these rocks with me. Finally, I pick out a heart-shaped one, wipe it thoroughly with a tissue, hold it up to the sun, and spell out loud, H-E-A-R-T. After spelling for a while, I even start singing. Singing until I'm out of tune. I'm nearsighted by 4.0 diopters. From dozens of meters away, I can't even tell a man from a woman. Looking at trees, I just see a blur of green. Smelling the flowers, I realize the tree at the corner is a gardenia tree. Through the iron fence, I can see pure white gardenias blooming all over the branches. The fragrance is intoxicating. Inside is a small garden. An old man is watering the flowers. There are also dogs and cats running around inside. Under the eaves, there's a domed security camera pointing right at me. I take off my earphones and call out loudly, "Sir, your gardenias smell amazing." The old man happily picks some flowers for me. Through the iron fence, he asks, "Are you a student taking the college entrance exam?" "Yes, sir. I'm on my way to the testing center. I wish you great success. May your name be on the honor roll. Thank you for the good wishes, sir." Seeing the wild rose pinned to my collar, he picks a few larger, more beautiful branches for me, and even plucks a few bowl-sized gardenias to give me. This takes up another 10 minutes. Finally, a few retired aunties carrying vegetable baskets and eco-friendly shopping bags walk in this direction. It looked like they're heading to the bus stop too. I follow behind them, holding over a dozen large gardenias. An auntie wearing a floral shirt with frizzy hair smells the flowers. She turns around and calls out, "Young man, where did you get those flowers?" I squint, realizing I haven't put my glasses back on. I quickly dig them out of my backpack, put them on, and say, "The old man up ahead gave them to me. Do you like them too? Here, you can have some." I give her 5 flowers, and the other aunties get 2 each. We continue walking toward the bus stop. Jung Yue is nowhere to be seen. I only notice signs that the greenbelt next to the stop has been crushed, but it's obscured by the bus stop sign. For the moment, no one notices anything unusual. I stroll at the very back, holding my flowers. As we approach the stop, the bus I need finally arrives. I chase after it, calling out, "Driver!" The driver opens the door with a dramatic pose. There's no one on the bus. I take long strides onto the bus, find a window seat on the left in the very back row, and sit down. I put my earphones back on. The bus doors are still open, but no one else gets on. The aunties at the stop are chattering away, all talking about the college entrance exam. The doors close and the bus continues on its way. It isn't until the bus leaves the stop that a white-haired old lady spots Jung Yue's phone on the ground. Then she spots her and screams. One auntie is so scared she falls flat on the ground. The other aunties scramble to help her up. Jung Yue is collapsed in the greenbelt, covered in mud, her face completely purple. As for me, I never look back once. Actually, after being reborn, I could have gone home and asked my dad to drive me. I could have taken a different route or called a cab. I could have even flagged down a random car on the street. The people of Jiangcheng are incredibly warm-hearted. As long as I said I was an examinee, anyone would have gladly driven me to the testing center. But why should I change my route? Why should I run away? Since I've been reborn, I need to be right within her reach. I want to watch her slowly descend into hell. I want her to stare desperately at that intersection, knowing the path I was supposed to take will remain forever empty. It'd be best if she just died. If she doesn't die, she'll spend the rest of her life wondering, if she had just been a little slower, would I have taken the bait? Repentance is for the wicked, not for the good. This is what you call destroying someone from the inside out. I arrive smoothly at the testing center with 20 minutes to spare. This is my second time taking the college entrance exam. Compared to the stress and near tardiness of last time, I'm completely calm now. Steady as a rock, I finish the exam without a hitch. I go home to eat. Before my afternoon nap, I glance at my phone. There's no news about Jung Yue. When I wake up, both my parents are home. Mom hands me a wet towel to wipe my face and says, "This morning, a student suddenly had a heart attack at the bus stop. She was brought to our hospital and put in the ICU. I don't know if she'll make it." My dad chimes in. "I heard about that too. What a shame. She's so young. Our son still has exams to take. Don't talk about these things. You'll scare him." My parents are so kind-hearted. They actually pity her for missing the exam. Little do they know, in my past life, our entire family was killed because of her. Didn't she claim my first aid was unprofessional? That I took advantage of her? She must prefer this outcome much more. In the afternoon, I head back for the next exam. But I don't want to take the bus anymore. I ask my dad to take me on his electric scooter. Having lost them once, now I especially cherish the time I spend with them. My dad takes off the delivery basket from the back, wipes the seat over and over, and complains, "You're taller than me now. There's nowhere to put your legs. I'm 18, 1.92 meters tall. My dad is only 1.7 meters tall. I was already taller than you in middle school. You're just noticing now?" I hop onto the scooter, put on my helmet, and rest my hands on his shoulders. "Dad, after the college entrance exam is over, can we go back to our hometown to visit Grandpa and Grandma?" My dad gently twists the throttle. How can we do that? You're about to go to college. I still need to save up to buy you a house. I rest my forehead against his broad back, my eyes half closed. We can always make money later. But the summer break after the college entrance exam only happens once. Besides, our whole family hasn't gone back to our hometown together in 3 years. I miss Grandpa and Grandma. Because of the exam, I even stayed in Zhongcheng during the new year to take extra classes. One of you always had to stay behind to take care of me, so you had to visit them separately. My dad hesitates. A wise man doesn't stand under a collapsing wall. A smart man doesn't provoke a madman. Of the 36 stratagems, running away is the best choice. To convince him, I don't hesitate to use my secret weapon on him. An 18-year-old guy who hasn't acted spoiled in years, my dad definitely won't be able to resist. Sit still, you brat. I obediently sit still. My dad is grinning from ear to ear. All right. I just restocked today. I'll sell for one more day, then stop restocking. The day after tomorrow, we'll head home. We'll check your scores at home so your grandparents can share the joy. Entering the exam room, I turn back and see my dad walking his scooter, looking at me with such affectionate eyes. My eyes sting again. I clench my fist and make a cheering gesture at him. Sheng Xing, you can do it! The exam goes very smoothly. My grades were already excellent. I was a prime candidate for Qingbei in my teacher's eyes. If it weren't for Zheng Yue's incident, I would have had a bright future. Coming out of the exam room, my dad is there to pick me up again. Sheng Xing, are you hot? Are you tired? Are you hungry? My dad opens a thermos and pours me some water, muttering his questions. After I finish drinking, I stretch my arms. Oh, Dad, right now, I just want to sleep. In my past life, ever since Zheng Yue's incident, I never had a good night's sleep. Plus, I've been taking exams all day. My eyelids are practically glued together right now. My dad quickly says, Right. Rest up and get your energy back. You still have a long day of exams tomorrow? He takes me home. My mom is still working the night shift. My dad goes to cook dinner. I finish showering, dry my hair, and go back to my room. I open my phone. The internet is still calm and quiet. It seems without my help, Zheng Yue's condition is very serious. She can't stir up any trouble, but I know all too well how difficult her family is to deal with. The real mess is yet to come. Actually, she and I were middle school classmates. But not long after 7th grade started, I tested into the advanced class. I had absolutely no impression of her. She was the one who revealed it in her video, claiming I had groped her back then. She was like a rat in a sewer. Her hair was always greasy, like she hadn't washed it in 2 months. She always had a weird smell. As for me, I'm fairly good looking. Putting our photos side by side and saying I groped her was completely unconvincing. If she hadn't died, I absolutely would have had a chance to turn the tables. Unfortunately, there are no ifs. When I was being cyberbullied, I received an anonymous photo. In a messy room that looked like a storage unit, the walls were covered with my photos. There were also all sorts of small items I had lost over the years, like my towel, the water bottle I lost while playing basketball, used pens, and even my old underwear and worn-out sneakers. The text attached to the photo said it was Zheng Yue's house, so Zheng Yue had been stalking my life all along. She didn't even hesitate to become a thief, digging through the trash, whether she was a gloomy pervert or just tired of living. For someone like her to appear at that bus stop during the college entrance exam was absolutely no coincidence. It was carefully orchestrated. Zheng Yue's parents favored sons over daughters. They planned to marry her off right after high school graduation, but before she died, she called me and said if I agreed to marry her and gave her parents 1,000,000 yuan as a bride price, she would clear everything up with the internet. My feeling at that moment was like being forced to kiss a live rat. After I was so disgusted, I almost threw up. She jumped off the building and committed suicide. I recorded her call, but it was useless. The phrase "death settles all debts" made it impossible for me to clear my name. But I don't understand. How did she know that I would be taking the bus from there? I think back to when I fell to my death in my past life. In my blurry vision, I saw Mo Li from across the hall. Mo Li and I were in the same grade but different classes. Our families had been neighbors for over 10 years, but we never interacted. Her parents were both teachers at a private high school. They were extremely strict with her. What time she woke up, ate, did homework, and went to bed were all planned out and precise to the minute. If she went over the time limit or failed to complete a task, she would be punished. Our rooms were right next to each other. Countless times I heard her parents scolding her, calling her a pighead, saying she wasn't even as good as the kid next door whose family sold skewers. Before opening the shop, my dad sold skewers at the apartment complex gate for a while. He only opened the shop after gaining market recognition. Later, when he made some money, he took over a storefront and upgraded it to a skewer hot pot place. Although running a small business isn't as glamorous as being a teacher, he earned money with his own two hands. What right did they have to look down on others? My grades were already good. To make my parents proud, I worked even harder. Every exam, I ranked first in the grade. I became the perfect kid next door in the eyes of all the parents in our complex. The couple next door beat and scolded their daughter more and more. Meanwhile, my parents were open-minded, kind, and treated me with gentle love. The chances of Mo Lee being jealous were extremely high. The next day, the college entrance exam continued. I did even better than in my past life. Getting into Qingbei definitely wouldn't be a problem. Leaving the exam room, I told my dad I was going to hang out with friends, so I went to the electronics market and bought 3 hidden cameras. My actions were completely clear of conscience. Plus, I'm tall and well-built. Even if the 2 of them teamed up, they couldn't beat me in a fight. I'm just worried they'll play dirty. I have to be on guard. I installed one on our old anti-theft door. I covered it on the outside with a raised few-character sticker from New Year's. It's very hard to spot. One was installed inside the house, and one was installed on the awning above my bedroom window. With the angle tilted just a bit, it can see 2/3 of Mo Lee's room. If she opened her door, you could even see into her living room. But as soon as I finished installing it and connected it to the camera on my phone, I was so scared I almost dropped my phone. On the wall opposite Marley's door, there was a huge portrait of me. A target was drawn over it in red marker, with liquid dripping down like blood. Her face was riddled with dart holes. I was finally certain. In my past life, she was one of the main culprits who killed me. The person who sent me that photo back then, it must have been her. I checked that account later, but it had already been deleted. But this time, the photo hadn't been sent yet. I registered a new account and searched for her. Sure enough, I found Marley's account. It was probably just a side account. There weren't many posts, but they were horrifying enough. It was all animal abuse. Judging by the locations, it was right here in our apartment complex, and the small park nearby. To think I'd been neighbors with this kind of psycho for over 10 years. A cold sweat ran down my back. I quickly took screenshots, recorded everything I saw, and then reposted it from my side account. In her follower list, I found a familiar profile picture. After logging into my main account, I saw the same person in my own follower list. They had never posted anything, but I remembered this person. Before, every time I posted something, that account would view it a dozen, even dozens of times. I suspected it was Zheng Yue. Just then, I took the heart-shaped stone I had picked up earlier and placed it with the jasmine on my balcony. I took a picture and made a post. Then I shared a sweet post about childhood sweethearts. The day after the college entrance exams ended, my mom had already taken half a month of annual leave. My dad closed his shop for a break. Our family of 3 went back to our hometown. Finally, in the warm embraces of my relatives, I found the sense of security I had lost for so long. With the pressure of the exams gone, I completely let myself relax. I took my younger cousins and the dogs out to run freely in the fields, but I still kept an eye on Zheng Yue's situation. And just as I expected, on the 6th day, she finally woke up in the ICU. Just like in my past life, she went online to condemn everyone who was at the bus stop that day, the group of aunties, and the bus driver. She claimed we all stood by and watched her die. Me, the bus driver, and the aunties, but she really was in a pitiful state. Because of the long delay, 20 minutes had passed between the onset of her heart attack and when she was discovered, and the auntie who found her didn't know first aid. Waiting for the ambulance took another 20 minutes, 40 minutes in total. This caused irreversible damage to her body. First, malignant arrhythmia. She suffered from frequent myocardial ischemia. She couldn't handle the slightest bit of stress, or she could go into cardiac shock at any moment, leading to cardiac arrest. Second, brain damage. While she was unconscious, her heart had stopped for about 4 to 6 minutes, causing irreversible damage to her brain cells. Third, the prolonged lack of oxygen led to severe kidney failure. She would need dialysis for the rest of her life. She was only 18, and it happened during her college entrance exams, the most critical moment of her life. Instead, she hit rock bottom. Just because her life is tragic, does that mean we bystanders have to pay the price for her tragedy? Just like in my past life, all of us who were at the bus station were doxxed by netizens. I was clearly the last one to leave, but I was the first one to be exposed. all because I was also a student taking the exam. I don't know who it was, but someone posted a photo of me leaving my house at 6:30 a.m. online. They claimed it only takes me 5 minutes to get to the bus stop, but I deliberately dawdled until 7:15 to show up there. Let's take a huge step back here. Even if I walked that slowly, am I somehow responsible? Instead of taking a huge step back, let's take another one. I could have just gone straight to the exam hall. I took pictures as I walked. The post about the stones was published at 6:50. My dad recognized the old man who gave me the gardenias. He was a regular at our shop. He contacted him and asked for the surveillance footage from his yard. The timestamp on it was clear. Even my conversation with the old man was perfectly clear. I was still picking flowers with him at that time. Although it was very close to the bus stop, it was around a bend, so you couldn't see the stop at all. The uncle with the glasses who helped me later on also managed to get surveillance footage. It proved I was on that small path the whole time. I only caught up to the bus when the group of aunties appeared. The camera on the bus also proved that I got on before the bus stop in question. I was never waiting at that stop. I never even saw Zheng Yue. If they can still blame me for this, then the gentle breeze and fresh air that morning are also at fault. I had gathered enough evidence. Even if someone tried to manipulate public opinion, it was useless. In fact, it ended up earning me a lot of sympathy. After all, I was just a high school student. I was just minding my own business, not bothering anyone. Yet I was forced to flee to my hometown. We couldn't even run our business. Those aunties were even more formidable. The moment they found her, they immediately called 120. Someone even recorded a video. It was enough to prove that from the moment she was discovered until the ambulance took her away, no one touched Zheng Yue. This completely eliminated any possibility of an insurance scam from the very beginning. Her family just wanted to extort money. The aunties immediately hired a lawyer to sue them for blackmail and slander. Of course, an auntie will always be an auntie, especially the one with permed hair. She's the kitchen god of Zhangcheng. They really picked a fight with the wrong person. Unlike me, I was too naive. In this life, I'd rather be a selfish person. I will never help a fallen person on the street again, because I can't afford to help, and I can't bear the consequences, no matter how the incident blew up online. My family of 3 didn't respond anymore. With those powerful guardians there, they didn't need me. On the day Zheng Yue woke up, I noticed on my social media platform that her account had visited my page over 100 times that day. Every day, I posted a picture of the jasmine flowers. I didn't write any captions. I just used all sorts of pink, cutesy filters to decorate it. She was going crazy. She would check my page every 10 minutes or so. She was still scrolling at 3 in the morning. I was really hoping she'd just drop dead from staying up all night. Unfortunately, villains live long lives. Not only did she not die, but she even started live streaming online, crying about how poor her family was and how they were in debt from the ICU costs. She was a college entrance exam candidate, so she naturally had a lot of attention and traffic. With the beauty filter on max, she did look somewhat pitiful. A surprising number of people actually donated to her. Finally, the results of the college entrance exams were released. My whole family was huddled around the computer. In my past life, even under all that pressure, I still scored 658. This time, I had no idea what I got. Anyway, when we tried to check my score, nothing came up. My grandpa squinted. I guess the internet in the countryside isn't very good. My dad refreshed the page several times, but still nothing. He was sweating with anxiety. I held on to my grandpa, afraid he'd get too excited and fall. I said with a smile, "Grandpa, the scores for the top 50 in the province aren't displayed." My parents finally understood. They started hitting each other, shouting and jumping around. They attracted all the neighbors and relatives. They all came rushing over. Seeing how excited my parents were, and knowing I had just taken the exam, they figured it out. Ho ho, did Hang Hang get into Tsinghua? Everyone in the village shares the same surname. Me getting into Tsinghua would bring honor to our ancestors. My grandpa's hands were shaking. I patted his back, while anxiously calling out to my dad. Dad, look at Grandpa. My grandpa waved his hand. When he turned around, his eyes were brimming with tears. Good girl. Grandpa is so happy. He ordered my dad, "What are you standing there for? Hurry up and go to town to order chicken and meat, and tell the relatives to get ready for a big celebration. I'll go check the almanac. Grandma will check the almanac for a good day to throw a party." My cousin, who has a PhD and is a building contractor, heard that my score was so high it couldn't even be looked up. He immediately said, "What's there to order? I've still got a big black pig from last year at home. I was saving it as a gift." Let's butcher it. Butcher it. I've got liquor too. It's all on me. All on me, one of the bosses said. I've even got some mayo tie. The whole village was buzzing with excitement, everyone running around to spread the news. Just then, my dad's phone rang. I glanced at the number and knew it was from Tsinghua, the admissions office. I quickly reminded him it was a Beijing number. My dad's hands were trembling. He fumbled with the phone several times but couldn't answer it. My grandpa snatched the phone in frustration. He muttered, "Useless." He answered the call. His voice boomed unconsciously. "Hello, this is her grandpa. No, Sheng Heng's grandpa. Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you." My dad pressed his ear against the phone. Their two faces squished the phone so hard the sound was almost muffled. I tried to reach for the speakerphone button several times, but was swatted away. My mom and grandma were hugging each other, crying and laughing. After hanging up, both my grandpa and my dad were in tears. They each grabbed one of my arms. Heng, it's Tsinghua University. You got into Tsinghua University? Only then did I find out I scored 708. I was the top scorer in the entire province. The TV station called too. The local station from my hometown. The news spread straight to our village. I did the interview. Countless parents of other students praised me endlessly. I became famous online. The old incident where Zheng Yui slandered me became a hot topic again. It shot straight to the top of the trending list. I received even more sympathy. On the other hand, Zheng Yui was torn to shreds by netizens. Her real photos and poor academic record were all dug up. Her live stream was flooded with insults calling her ugly and a drama queen. The principals of my middle school and high school kept calling my dad, insisting on giving me a cash award. My dad couldn't sit still anymore. He wanted to go back to Jiangcheng. He wanted to get back to his business. He wanted to make money. The acceptance party had to be postponed for a few days. My grandparents didn't object. They were afraid that if we weren't there, my admission letter would be stolen. Back in their day, it was common for people's university spots to be stolen by others. I wanted to stay in the countryside until the whole thing with Zheng Yue was over. But the whole family was pushed into the car, back to Jiangcheng. The moment our car reached the entrance of our residential complex, we were surrounded by our enthusiastic neighbors. We had to get out of the car. My dad runs a business, so he knows everyone in the neighborhood. Everyone knew him. The top scorer is back, Boss Sheng. How do you usually raise your kid? How on earth did he score 708 points? We didn't really teach him much. He's always been in the top 3 of his grade. What does he usually eat? What books does he read? He eats our family's hot pot. Our hot pot uses beef bone broth. Just look at how tall and strong he is. It's all thanks to drinking that beef bone broth. My dad pushed me out in front of everyone. I deliberately stood on my tiptoes to show off my height. What a handsome young man. So dashing and elegant. I always knew he had the makings of a top scholar. I was groped all over by the aunties. They said they wanted to rub off some of my good luck so that their kids could also get their names on the honor roll next year. I barely managed to escape and was about to head home when my dad tossed a bunch of keys at me. "Hurry up and go open the restaurant to clean up. I'm going to get the supplies. We need to work hard these next few days to earn enough for your tuition." He completely underestimated the value of the top scholar title. Before he even got back with the supplies, while my mom and I were still mopping the floor and wiping the tables, the neighbors had practically swarmed and nearly collapsed our restaurant. The neighbors fought to help out and even suggested my mom change the name from Shengui Restaurant to Top Scholar Restaurant. Right when they said that, my classmates happened to arrive. I almost covered my face and ran away. Our class did pretty well in the exam this time. Everyone passed the cutoff for their first choice universities, and quite a few got into top-tier schools. 10 years of hard studying finally paying off with our names on the honor roll. It really fits the saying, riding high on the spring breeze, the horse's hooves are swift. Seeing all the flowers of Chang'an in a single day, everyone was praising me, treating me so well, but in my past life, ones who threw rotten cabbage and rotten eggs at me were these exact same people. With the neighbors helping out, our family's business boomed. We were busy until late at night. We only closed after selling out of all our ingredients. The business of the entire street was boosted. The flower shop at the corner even gave us a huge bouquet. Sunflowers, roses, carnations. Our family of 3 walked home together. My parents walked affectionately hand in hand in front. I followed behind, holding the flowers. Using the red roses as the foreground, I took a selfie. Just as our family of 3 reached our door, the door opposite ours suddenly opened, revealing the somewhat flattering smiles of Ma Li's parents. "Old Sheng, getting home so late?" "Yeah, we had a lot of customers today. After exchanging a few meaningless pleasantries, we all went into our respective homes. I took a quick shower and hurried back to my room. Sure enough, I saw Jung Yue visiting my profile. This account uses my real name. Many classmates know it. Right now, a lot of people were liking my post, asking if I was in a relationship. I didn't deny any of it. I opened the surveillance camera feed from my windowsill. Seeing the scene on the screen, I screamed in terror. Hearing my scream, my mom rushed in. "What's wrong?" On the screen, Ma Li was pressing her ear against the wall, eavesdropping. I shoved my phone under my pillow and pulled out a charger from under my butt. The charger poked my leg. "You're so grown up, yet still so careless. Let mom see if your butt got bruised. It's fine, it's fine. It just hurt for a second." Still getting shy with your mom? As soon as my mom left, I put my earphones back on and looked at the camera again. Ma Li was still pressed against the wall, staring intently at my window. Because of the angle, I couldn't see her face. I could only see her long, disheveled black hair and white dress, looking exactly like Sadako. But when she realized she couldn't hear any more noise from my side, she went crazy, grabbed a dart, and rushed to the end of her bed, aiming at a bust statue of me and throwing it repeatedly. I had no doubt, if I were standing in front of her, she would stab me 100 times. I hurriedly pulled out the hand grip strengthener hidden deep in my closet. Phew. While exercising, I reviewed the camera footage from the past few days. I discovered that on the day the college entrance exam ended, Molly's parents took a set of the college entrance exam papers and forced her to redo the questions she had just taken. She was tested until 2 a.m. The next morning, the couple had brutally beaten her. Because Ma Li didn't do well on the exam, she could normally score 600 points, but her estimated score for the college entrance exam dropped by 50 points. She didn't even dare to guess randomly, because if she wrote the wrong answer and it didn't match her actual exam, she would be beaten even more miserably. But after the results came out, she only scored 490 points. She was beaten to the ground and took a long time to crawl back up. They didn't even let her eat. The snacks in her room were also confiscated. That night, she was like a vengeful ghost, standing by my window, staring all night. For the next few days, it was like this every single day. No horror movie has a scene where a girl, separated by just a wall and a window, stares at me all night with those dark, empty eyes. It's terrifying. But compared to the death of my entire family, this is nothing. I suppressed my discomfort. I pulled the curtains halfway open. I leaned against the wall too, and took a selfie from outside the window. The camera didn't just capture my side profile. It also caught Ma Li. The beauty filter turned the horrifying scene into an artistic photo full of a broken, moody vibe. This time, I posted it with a caption, "Don't be scared. I'm here." Of course, Jung Yue was online in a second, and I deleted the post that was only visible to her. My brother even set it to self-destruct after being viewed. No screenshots. No screen recording. It left no trace on the platform, but it would leave a deep scar on that psycho's heart. After deleting the post, I shared a song by Twinkle Star. On Maylee's bedroom wall, there were a lot of posters of this singer. I'd heard her play this song before. This post got continuous views from midnight to 4 in the morning. The song was played over and over. For the next week, I did the same thing every day. Finally, the day before Jung Yue was discharged from the hospital arrived. In the middle school alumni group chat, everyone was organizing a visit to see her. A classmate asked me to go with them. I left the group immediately. I blocked all my remaining middle school friends. When Jung Yue woke up, the first thing she did was to slander me, claiming I watched her die and did nothing. The news was all over the place. I don't believe they didn't know. Who are they trying to fool with that saintly act? I just wanted her to know how much I despised her. And the more I despised her, the sweeter it was for Ma Li. Every night, we'd look at each other through the wall. We'd listen to the same song. We'd gaze at the same starry sky. The day Jung Yue was discharged, the three of us packed our things and went back to our hometown. We brought all my high school study materials with us. My mom told me Ma Li's mother said Ma Li didn't do well in her exams. She wants to retake them, and she wanted to borrow your study materials. My dad said, "I already gave them all away. That couple used to look down their noses at your mother and me. This time, you've brought us honor. But we're not pushovers. Why should we lend them anything?" As soon as the news broke that you were the top scorer, everyone in the neighborhood came to our house. They took all the materials, notebooks, even the desk mat you used. They brought tea, all sorts of gifts. They were so polite. We didn't accept the gifts, of course, but we accepted their goodwill. What gives them the nerve to even ask? My dad was practically floating on cloud nine. He had hidden all my key review materials. This time, he brought them back to our hometown for my younger cousins to use. He hoped our family would produce a few more bright students. Of course. My grandparents and my aunts and uncles treated us like royalty. They praised me as if I were the god of literature descended to earth. The day of my college acceptance party in our hometown was the same day my classmates in the city were having a get-together. I spent the whole day entertaining relatives. I only had a moment to go online. From the social media pages of a few high school friends, I saw they really did have a get-together that night. Ma Li and Zheng Yue were both at the same party. Before the party started, my grandfather took me to our ancestral graves to burn incense, to report to our ancestors that our family now had a top scholar. Amidst the swirling smoke, I kowtowed before my ancestors and prayed. I prayed that Zheng Yue's insanity would flare up tonight and that she would take Ma Li with her. I never expected my ancestors to be so powerful. Late that night, I was about to fall asleep when my phone woke me. It was my classmate, Sheng Hong. Zheng Yue is dead. Check the group chat. Quick! I opened the high school group chat. I saw a lot of pictures. Because they were posted live, I quickly pieced together the whole story. On a street not far from my house after the party ended, some people were chatting. Some were waiting for a ride. Ma Li and Zheng Yue were walking together. I don't know what was said, but they suddenly started arguing. People only overheard a few sentences. Apparently, on the day of the college entrance exam, while Zheng Yue was waiting for the bus, she was on the phone with Ma Li. Something Ma Li said triggered her and caused her to have an episode. The two of them looked like they had a grudge. They started fighting violently. Just then, a dump truck full of sand came speeding by. Zheng Yue suddenly shoved Ma Li into the street with all her might. But Ma Li was ruthless too. She grabbed on tight. Both of them were pulled under the truck at the same time. Zheng Yue's neck was broken. She died instantly. As for Ma Li, her legs were run over and severed. She was dragged for a distance. Her body was severely scraped up. The police arrived. Their parents came to take them away. I burst out laughing under my blanket. I laughed until tears streamed down my face. Ma Li was in emergency care for 2 days before she woke up. I heard everything below. Her waist had to be amputated. The skin on her body was scraped off, more than half of it. She could only get fish skin grafts. The dump truck was found, but it was a beat-up old truck, about to be scrapped. Besides, the driver was operating the vehicle normally. In short, there wasn't much compensation money. After we finished our celebration party, we stayed for 2 more days before returning to Zhengcheng. As soon as we reached the entrance to our residential complex, we saw a group of people pulling a tricycle cart. They were heading towards our complex without hesitation. I recognized the man in the lead as Zheng Yue's father. I quickly urged my dad to go to our shop. We parked the car, put our things in the shop, and then went back to the complex to see the commotion. Only then did we find out that the thing the Zheng family was pulling on the cart was Zheng Yue's body. In this heat, they only had a few blocks of ice on it, and it was already starting to smell. Everyone kept their distance. They just watched from afar, gossiping amongst themselves. They said the Jing family was being unreasonable. It was clearly Zheng Yue who pushed Ma Li. But are the Zhengs the type to listen to reason? With a single phrase, respect for the dead, they seized the moral high ground. Just like in my past life when I saved Zheng Yue. Didn't they do the exact same thing? Ma Li's parents locked their doors and refused to come out. That night, they secretly moved away. The Zheng family wouldn't stop causing trouble. After raising hell in the residential complex, they went to the school where Ma Li's parents worked. They held up banners, they wailed and cried, and they refused to bury Zheng Yue. Every day, they cried and screamed online. Even the police couldn't control them. Ma Li's family was exposed. They were fired. Ma Li's father ignored bullying at school. He accepted bribes from parents. His high-pressure teaching methods caused students to become depressed, and so on. Their reputations were ruined. I took advantage of the chaos. I led netizens to dig up Ma Li's alternate account where she abused cats and dogs. In an instant, it sparked nationwide outrage. Her social media page was flooded with curses. The extreme cat and dog lovers sent funeral wreaths to her hospital room. They made a memorial photo for her online. They cursed her whole family, calling them demons, saying they deserved to die 1,000 deaths. The things that happened to my family in my past life were all happening to her family now. But it still wasn't enough. This wasn't over yet. Every day I had to keep my spirits up. I couldn't let my guard down for a second. I always carried a hand gripper to train with. If something really happened, I could use it as a weapon. Judging by Molly's parents' teaching methods, they weren't normal people either. Now their daughter was disabled. They'd lost their jobs. Their reputations were in tatters. They had no money left. They were at a dead end. One was a biology teacher. The other was a chemistry teacher. Who knew what they might do? What if they snapped and went crazy? Every day, I felt like I was facing a great enemy. I was on high alert. Like a child, I stuck to my parents all day. I never let them go anywhere alone. At first, my parents thought I was just being dramatic. But after hearing my analysis, they became cautious too. A week later, the authorities announced a serious mass poisoning incident. The company that owned the dump truck, for humanitarian reasons, had compensated the Jung family with 500,000 yuan. Jung Yue's body really couldn't be kept any longer. Only then did the Jung family return to their hometown to hold the funeral. Jung Yue's parents, after exposing the crimes of Ma Li's parents, had gotten a taste of internet fame. Not only did they invite the whole village to the funeral feast, they also invited many clout-chasing social media influencers. Among them was the dropout who had run over and killed my parents, and his father. He was a student of Ma Li's parents. He was one of the main instigators in the online attack against Ma Li's family this time. He even declared he would continue to condemn the 3 members of Ma Li's family until they confessed their guilt. Hundreds of people were live streaming at the same time. There was no limit to their clout chasing. It was both absurd and ridiculous. It made the scene incredibly lively, not like a funeral at all. It was more like a press conference. As a result, just as the food was served, everyone was poisoned to death. It was a live stream. I heard the number of online viewers exceeded 100,000. So, through the internet, they watched the tragedy unfold with their own eyes. The culprits were Ma Li's parents. It turned out that the day before, Ma Li couldn't bear the reality of being disabled and had slit her wrists and killed herself while her parents were asleep. They had poisoned everyone. After killing them, they didn't even try to escape. In a fire at the scene, they perished together with everyone else. Seeing this outcome, I could finally rest easy. Carrying my parents' earnest advice, along with the hopes and blessings of my relatives, I walked towards a bright future.